What's up, guys? We've got episode 5 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show with your awesome guests this week, Sammy, Haj, and Fabs. So, let's get into it. And my question this week, it's not going to be as great as it's been in the last few weeks, but it's been on my mind, actually, since a while. And it's not as topical as before, but I feel like it's still a good one. So, it's going to be, guys, if you had to pick one to take in a fight, who would you pick? Trump or Biden?
Trump would just win because money.
Oh wait, by the way, so yeah, let me make some state. So obviously,
you can't do this every
no,
time.
As in, I didn't clarify. Sorry, so it's you fighting them. You have to fight them. So it's not them fighting each other. It's you're gonna beat up an old man. So which old man are you beating up? Trump or Biden?
I think that's just an easy question, to be honest. It's got to be Trump.
Really, you'd pick Trump?
Yeah.
I've got a question.
What's up, bro?
What are the arms in this scenario?
It's a fist fight. It's a fist fight, bro. You're just beating up an old man with your bare hands. That's
Knuckle dusters?
No knuckle dusters, no nothing. It's just you as an old man. I can't like. Wait. Hard you saying Trump? I can't lie. I'm a bit surprised. You'd say Trump too, Sammy?
Yeah.
Man, I can't lie. I feel like Biden, especially after seeing him fall over this week. This guy looks. He looks close to death. He looks very close to death. I feel like I could take Trumpy. I feel like he's got a bit of weight. I feel like he's got like a couple of pounds, and he might be able to do a bit.
It'd be a political choice.
Yeah, definitely.
doing it for the sake of the world.
Fully.
It's true. No one will forgive me after beating up Biden instead of Trump. Yeah. It's no one in the world. Everyone will start hating me.
For beating up OAP.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go into the first and the most obvious topic. So we had the ban list. Gosh, what a ban list! So what are our thoughts? So let me quickly get up the ban list in front of me so that I remember. Yeah. But what have we thought so far? So in case we don't remember, the new cards on the list, so the bans were Zexal, Union Carrier, and Calamities. And then our limits were Cyber Angel Ben 10 to 1, and then Dragon Buster Destruction Sword was unlimited from Forbidden. Firewall Dragon, which now has an errata, is going to be unlimited as well. What else is there? Rusty Bardiche has now gone back to 3. Julorin has gone back to 3 from 1. Ignista Prominence from 3 to 3 from 1. Argent Chaos Force to 3 from 0, which is quite mad, and True Kings could return to 3 from 1. So what do we think, guys? What are we thinking about this ban list?
Overall, good but boring list. I want to see something spicy come off.
Yeah, definitely. I can't lie. I'm really happy that Konami banned both Zexal and Calamities. I was afraid that they would ban one and leave the other, and then it's like, okay, well, people just be like,
everyone's just going to switch to Numeron, like
exactly,
engine.
Literally. But it's like now, it's like no, people are actually going to have to find different things to play. And just from playing over the last week, I feel like going second is actually feasible again, which is really lovely. Like I can actually go second and not feel like I'm going to get cucked every second of every day, which is just it's quite delicious. Yeah. What I'm really excited to see is how this is going to affect the top tier decks at the moment. We did have LCS and stuff, and we'll talk about that later. But I am interested to see what the new kind of thing is going to be. Like, are we going to go back into a build a board format that we were in before this? Like, I want to see what the long term strategy is going to end up being. But yeah, the thing as well is that with the unlimits, it's like you said, Haj, I'm really disappointed as well. I feel like everything they unlimited is just stuff that no one cares about.
Yeah. Having said that, I think have you seen the whole thing that like Dragon Link players are doing now with the DMZ Dragon?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? So they found a way to abuse Buster Lock again.
Oh no, sorry. Yes, I have seen that. Yeah.
So what? Let's summon it off LP, and then how did they get Buster in a day?
They fucking combo now. They summon off LP, then obviously link it off. They can bring back the Pisty. Wait, there's where to dump it as well. I can't remember what the thing was.
Ravine, innit, probably.
Ravine, yeah, Ravine will be, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Like,
it's cool, 'cause
they've
it's
got
a
ways to do it. I mean,
But-
obviously, it's not their main focus, but they can
Yeah.
still do it.
Do you know what it is though?
In their combo.
Even though that's frustrating, I would say that it's not. It does, at least their new build now, in my opinion, doesn't feel as oppressive as the one they were rocking before.
Yeah, because before it's
Yeah.
just like it's just like extra lock on legs, like
Yeah.
being carrier done. Like
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
a lot easier to do before.
Exactly. Like
I think it's fair.
yeah, I think I can accept and say yeah, it's like it's more fair than it was before, so I'm more okay
Yeah.
with it. Definitely.
Yeah, they deserve it though. It's like high ceiling.
Literally. I think it's a bit of a shame for Dragon Link though, because it's like once upon a time they were this super intimidating deck, and now it's like half the time you just don't care what they're doing. Like that.
Literally.
Yeah, they've kind of taken a bit of a tumble from grace, if you can call it a tumble. To be honest, more
But-
like a really steep drop. But yeah.
But then look at Dryton with Vanity's ruler. Oh, that's so much worse.
Yeah, so it's funny. You know what's interesting about Drytron? I remember really early on, I was saying that Drytron could just use Vendreads instead, and it's like I look at the Vendread build, and while they can use Vendreads, yeah, it's just nowhere near as good. It's the level of consistency is trash, and it's like as a result, yeah, you just Drytron have just. Ugh, I can see them still being playable, definitely, but I definitely don't see them making any huge movements. Yeah, which is a bit of a shame for them. It's definitely a bit of a shame because Drytron was one of my favorite decks. I think they did do the right hit with that deck. Even though I didn't want them to touch Ben 10, I think taking Ben 10 down to 1, it's really hard to come with a hit as good as that. To be honest, it really did the job for the deck. Yeah, and Dragon Buster Destruction Sword coming back is just funny. I love
How soon they brought it back.
Yeah.
Like,
but stuff like this again, it just tells me that Konami knows what is broken in their game and what is causing problems.
and then it was going to make the money.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
look at all the tuners, and I mean, look at everyone that
Literally.
suffered for Firewall. I mean, for instance.
Oh
like,
my
come on.
gosh,
All the tuners suffering for like needle fiber. You got like, you know what I mean? It's just-
literally. So you know what's interesting as well? Actually, someone pointed out something which I thought was really cool, and they were saying how with Konami will ban a card like Pankratops, will ban a card like Instant Fusion, limit a card like Pankratops, limit a card like Instant Fusion. But on the other hand, they're letting cards like what's it called? They're letting cards like Dark Ruler No More and Evening Match run around. And when you think about it, they're the ones who should really be banned. But for some reason, Konami is okay. They're okay with us like
board wiping.
literally, they're okay with us having a board wipe that destroys everything in the game. They're not okay with us having, deal with 1 or 2 cards at most with Pankratops. And I thought it was really, really interesting when you look at that balancing philosophy. Because, yeah, definitely, some of the cards that are on the list right now really should not be on the list. I don't know what the long-term strategy is with Konami.
What is your opinion on Red Reboot? A lot of people are like divided on this.
So, I like Red Reboot, actually. I think...
Yeah.
When it came out, I think I like Red Reboot. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a good card. I don't think it should be banned. I don't even think it should be limited. And one of the
Yeah, I
reasons,
thought it'd be a free, to be honest.
yeah, and one of the reasons I like Red Reboot is because I think that as a card, it forces your opponent to not force. It forces the player to make a decision. Like you can't just win because you have Red Reboot. It's like no, you've got Red Reboot, but
You got push.
yeah, it's like you already
Yeah.
had to have the win in your hand basically. Otherwise, and if you're activating from hand, you lose 4,000 LP.
Exactly.
And your opponent gets that from the deck. So yeah, I really like that card personally. I don't usually run it though.
It's obviously always a side deck option, but even nowadays,
Yeah.
like, there's no like trap-centric decks that are like popping off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not even just that. It's also at the point now in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's like you always want to win now. You can't
Exactly.
yeah, I can't afford to maybe win. Like I can't afford to like get rid of your card and not and like give you a chance
Games are
to come
too
back.
short nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Games are too short.
So it's not a terrible card, but especially at 1, it's like I don't want to give you any opportunity to search anything. I just want to eviscerate your
Yeah.
board completely.
I do miss it. I think maybe we need it now.
I think coming back, it could definitely do a good job for us. I'd say, yeah. I'm interested to see what the kind of next going second back row kind of card will be.
Yeah.
Not back row, sorry, but just in general going second card. It'll be really interesting to see.
Can we talk about how the semi-limited list is now just malicious? Finally, can we address that? It's finally his.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not going to be for long. Don't worry. Konami is determined. I'm sure they'll put like 6 cards in it next that make no difference.
The OCG is wild with similar
Yeah,
bits.
OCG's
They're
list
actually
is
crazy.
it's actually quite ugly. Looking at OCGs is painful because
It's wasn't like engaged limited to 2, and then there's like some other. You know what? I don't even know anymore. They were just on another level. Those guys.
say that again, Sammy.
It used to be proper similar to ours.
It
and
did,
now
yeah, and then
it's completely different.
it diverted at a certain point, and it just got crazy. Yeah, it's a shame, but we know what we know what the OCG's on. They just have a lot of fun. That's how I'll put it.
I wish we were there, man.
Yeah, sometimes I really do. Yeah, same. Sometimes I really do think I would be happy. I would be happier in the OCG than in the TCG.
Yeah,
But then I can't. They really do, and it's like it's just the support and stuff. Though, having said that, this will kind of segue into our next topic. One of the cards that I'm super excited for is the new Diviner of the Heralds.
Yeah,
That is going to be lovely. That card's very, very, very good. I think one of the best kind of fairy-ish, ritual-ish kind of support. You know what? It does enable a lot of ridiculously broken and degenerate.
Yeah, as most cards do nowadays.
Yeah. That's how it seems. That seems to be the story. It's like either enable some sort of busted or degenerate FTK, or it's just not playable. That's how like everything works nowadays. But so it's gonna be really nice to get it. Yeah, it's a good card. It's a really good card. I'm looking forward to us having access to something that busted. To be honest, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had anything that as gross as that card.
Yeah.
What decks you think it will be best?
When is it? It's coming out in Lightning
Overdrive.
Yeah.
So what decks? So it's going to be good in Drytron. It's going to be a big power shift to Drytron because even in OCG that's their normal summon. So right now they're playing Manju, and Manju's not terrible, but
you don't need it in hand.
You don't need it like that. It's just way better than Manju. It's okay in Herald / decks as well. One of the things about Herald decks, though, which is interesting, is you don't usually want to play. It's not you don't want to play it, but it changes your combo route in a weird way because normally you would want to search. You don't want to start your combo with the Diviner. You want to search it off the Eve or Eva or whatever that card's called. So it's a bit interesting that it doesn't affect them as well as it affects Drytron. But still a really, really good card. It's nice for Dark Lords as well. I personally don't do many builds of it, but it is a nice card for Dark Lords. But yeah. Oh, and having said that, there's quite a few archetypes that are likely to be getting support. So have you guys seen the new like Yu-Gi-Oh? It's like I don't know what it's called. It's some sort of book basically, and it's got like lore in it. Do you guys know what I'm on about?
Oh, that does ring a bell.
Yeah, so there's some sort of lore book coming out for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and it has a bunch of archetypes in it. And the reason why this is pretty exciting is because it's very possible that a lot of those archetypes are going to be getting a little bit of support just because it's kind of like, why would they waste their time releasing these cards? A lot of these cards also are getting support in the tournament, or not getting support, are getting reprints in the tournament packs, which is another good sign that Konami hasn't forgotten about them. So it's really good to see. I can't lie, I'm so happy right now that we're not being dictated by what's it called? We're not being dictated by the anime in terms of what releases we're getting. What
Yeah.
it was like a lot of times last year it just felt like we were getting a lot of cyber trash that we didn't care about.
Yeah, I mean, how many people actually did play Cybers properly? Like, come on.
Yeah, and it's quite mad. Oh gosh. Alright, so let's move on to our next topic. So, guys, sea ships. We're going to talk about a lot of the new support. The first one is sea ships.
This has more vanilla text than Endymion's Mighty Master. Honestly, that is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh,
that is ridiculous.
Sea ships is absolutely bloody hilarious. I think I can't remember. I think it was you who said it, Sabi. That deck reminds you of someone who's definitely waved. They've been on all sorts. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Konami's did after. Sometimes Konami releases stuff and they try and be funny and it just doesn't work. Like I feel like Fur Hire was the last time we tried to do it, and
What's that?
Remember Fur Hires?
Oh, for
Yeah,
hire.
they were trying to be cheap. They were trying to be cute with the names, but it just didn't work in my opinion. But Suships,
They're
that
foul.
archetype definitely made me laugh a bit. They're quite a mad archetype. And they could have potential as well. We never know. We might see what happens.
True.
They could have
I mean,
potential.
there's only like 5 cards out right now, and like 2 of them are like main deck monsters
Yeah,
at the moment. So
yeah.
it's a bit early, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see where it's going. And then not only that, but Gizmex got a bunch of support.
This is what I want to talk about.
Gizmex support. So the Gizmex support is really, really cool. So in fact, let me even quickly get the Gizmex cards up in front of me. And it's what I think is interesting is I wouldn't say it's meta yet. I wouldn't even say it's close to meta yet, but it definitely is a good sign in my opinion. I think compared to where they were before, they've got like a solid plan now and everything, and it's just and they've got a lot of monsters. It's always good when an archetype has a lot of monsters. It's like when it has a lot of cards, basically. So you actually have choices in your deck building, as opposed to Magic Keys who have like 4 cards, so you're playing everything at 3 because you can't even play a full deck. Gizmex actually have a lot of cards that they can play with. So what it seems like Konami has done is giving them a bunch of sort of good normal summons. And then the field spell, which is the field spell is sort of good, sort of not. It's nice because it, technically speaking, it is really just a search, but you can't really choose. I know you're supposed to use a Narbar into the field spell, but I mean, no one's doing that. That's a lot. Yeah. But definitely a really, really interesting card. A really, really interesting archetype. I think the banish effects of all of the low levels are really, really strong. Yeah, the banish effects are.
But OTK potential in the deck is actually just insane.
Yeah, effects like always go down well.
Yeah,
it's double value once you get them in the go.
I think as well, what's nice about the deck as well is it's got good synergy with a few archetypes already. So Cyber Dragons is probably one of the best. Yeah, it's just Nash the Turbo. You're tutoring Nashter out all the time. Basically, that's all you really ever do with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's got really, really good synergy with Despots as well. So the problem I found with Despots though is the same problem that Despots have always had, which is just that they haven't really got anything they can do. Like Despots, really, for the most part, its best ability is to be an engine for Hulk, Firebrax, and Auroradon. Beyond that, it doesn't do much. But yeah, it's got good synergy with Despots. What else is there? There is
maybe Orcus.
Yeah, so I was trying to do an Orcus build yesterday, and it's good and bad. The problem, one of the I think biggest weaknesses is there's no Orcus monster which has the same attack and defense.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's the big weakness, I would say, because it basically means that when you're trying to deck build with Gizmex, that's the main kind of strength of them, like because you can just search cards for free, even if you banish it off the Zayas, it doesn't matter. With Orcus, all different ones. But I think there will still be potential because I mean Kaku's still really not Kaku, sorry. Well, Kaku is good, but
Kaku is good,
Orochi, for example, is still really good with Orcus. So I mean that doesn't change much. But yeah, but I am excited to see where we're gonna go with Gizmex because it's.
I think it would depend on the meta. Like if there's a lot of like I mean, even now there is still obviously like turn 1 boards that are hard to deal with. So it's like they're gonna just run like a board breaking kind of build, like always. So I think it was shifting that the meta. Some people will play it. I don't think it would be like highly represented though.
No, at all. I'm interested to see what some pro players gonna do because there's always a pro player who does something crazy, and it's gonna be nice to see them abuse the deck a bit for us. But
yeah, definitely.
Actually, let me quickly check. So I'm actually gonna look, and I just realized as well there was another ban list, and this kind of slipped through most of people's knowledge. I feel like not knowledge, attention. But OCG obviously had a ban list as well, yeah, I think it's actually their one. It's funny looking at the OCG ban list versus.
Yeah, honestly, I think there's one hit on there that's just like, he's taking the piss. Like,
let me try and get it up again. OC March.
It should be on organization.
That is where I should be going. You're right. That's the best place to be. Okay, yeah, here we go. So OCG, their ban list. So what did OCG do again? I think the one I remember is they released what's his name, Calamity.
They put it to 1.
Yeah. What I do like about OCG compared to TCG as well is they actually explain their ban list So they have explanations which I really like. But anyway, so yeah, Tempest Magician, that was banned. There was some FCK nonsense. I'm surprised that wasn't already banned, to be honest. Then Calamities was gone. Then they released Firewall. Obviously, nothing really to say about that. Skullcrabat Joker is now semi-limited. Now it's funny because that was already limited and Pendulum still wasn't doing anything in the OCG, but seeing it in semi-limited from limited now is definitely going to be interesting to see if anyone can try anything. I think Pendulums in general just has never been as relevant there as it has been here, just because Maxi and other little things like that, and being more for control. Pendulums don't play well into back row for the most part, and so being in a more control-oriented format doesn't work well with them. And then Union Hangar,
took their time.
Yeah, they really took a while. They really took a while with that.
I don't know why Konami is so terrified of ABCs. If I'm best deck.
Yeah, and it's funny because I hate that deck, but even when I see Konami beating it up and bullying it, I'm just like, but why though?
Like, it's not that good. Like, relax.
It's really not. It's really not. Like, I've never been in a tournament and thought, oh no, the next guy might be playing ABCs. Like, that never crosses my head.
But it's like I've never thought like, I don't know.
Do you remember Blue Eyes used to stand up to it?
Literally, yeah.
Poorest meta ever, ABC Blue Eyes.
It's just a very unintimidating deck. So I don't know why Konami picks on it so much. And it would be nice if they just left it alone. Just unban all their cards. Let them do what they want. They're not winning anything. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think they've ever won a tournament before. Like,
no, I agree because it's a big investment. All three pieces into that one monster. Once they're going, they're good.
Exactly. Yeah, when it gets going, it's actually quite nice. But before that, and they did get some nice support in sort of unauthorized device and Union Driver or whatever it's called. But even with that, they're just not that good. Yeah, and multi-roll as well. They brought multi-roll back as well, which is nice. Sky Striker's still not doing anything. It's too weak. Sky Striker right now is in a situation where every deck is so flipping busted that they just can't really make a dent in the top decks. So it's like if you're playing Sky Striker, what's the Sky Striker doing when a Dragoon hits the board? They're just crying. Yeah, they've got a lot of removal, but it's just not as good. But OCG Banlist was definitely really interesting. But there's also another card that we want to talk about, and it's the new Link 5. So it's finally got its Romanization. Don't know what it is. But this Link 5 essentially, you can use one of your opponent's monsters to summon it. So it's actually a really, really interesting card. What do you think about that, guys? What do you think was going to happen?
Contact using for a Link summon. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the really, really good things about that, obviously, is that contact fuse. But at the same time, for me, one of the weaknesses of it is the fact that it's a Link 5, and I think it requires 3+ monsters.
Yeah, it's like running. It's like when you have the debate of like, do I run Sphere Mode or Lava Golem? And it's like, and there'll be a point where someone's going to start playing around Sphere Mode, and you'll be like, well, shit, then this is a brick.
Is that actually? Yeah, and I've just got it. So the card is Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. It needs 4+ effects monsters. So I mean, that's quite steep.
Yeah, quite steep.
Not many decks can just pull out 4 effects monsters casually. Yeah,
but one of them is not yours, so that's good.
But what I find, like, at that point, if you can bring out 4 monsters, there's surely something better you can bring out, though. To win with?
Yeah, because if you can bring out 4 effects monsters on the field, 3, I guess 3, because as Sammy said, one of them is your opponent's. But even if you can put 3 effect monsters on the field, you can usually do quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, right now you're probably going into like access code or something already. So is it really changing your game plan that much? But it is really interesting to see with stuff like this. I was saying to Sammy earlier this week, what you always see with cards like this is that it's just a case of, is it better than the current extra deck staples right now? And then if it is, how likely it is that I'm going to pick this over those ones. And I feel like this has a chance. It definitely has a chance. But
it outs anything. I think it's quite good.
That's true. I agree that, and it doesn't have to target or anything, which is also nice. So that definitely is good. Some decks this will definitely like that's what I'm saying. Certain decks, like for example, Fur Hire or Danger Dark World, for example, that can just spit materials out on the board for free. This is definitely going to be quite nice in them, and also in some meta decks as well. To be honest, where they can just put anything on the board. This is really, really going to be an interesting card to see. I'm excited. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Avamax.
A bit, yeah. No, I see what you're in with it in terms of its defensive ability. Because so its abilities is you can also use, and I'm going to have this on the screen for everyone who's watching, but you can also use one monster your opponent controls to link summon this card. If this card is link summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. This link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monster from the graveyard, you can negate this. So a little bit in terms of it's more of a defensive card when it's on the field than an offensive card. Yeah, definitely got that similarity to Avramax. But I would say it's funny. I see what they were trying to do to make it kind of unaffected by things that don't target. But the problem is there's so much target removal.
There's way.
Yeah, because now your opponent's just going to compulse your Link 5, which is not the nicest. But the fact that it negates all the monsters on the field in itself is good. And if you're playing a deck as well that likes its card sent to the graveyard as well, I guess that's nice too. But yeah, definitely going to be really, really interesting to see what happens. It's funny, when they first announced this card, they announced it alongside Security Force. So I was sure it was part of Security Force, and I thought they just hadn't figured out the name yet. But now I'm. It just seems like one of those generic big Os Link 5s that just isn't really part of anything, or not Link 5s, but high Link monsters are just not really part of anything.
I think we forgot to mention though that IP can use it.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
The synergy with IP is quite amazing. Yeah, really good.
And then you get more value if they're playing Trials and all.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, so it's got pretty huge synergy. I mean, on your opponents. Having said that, actually, wait, let me confirm, because IP I think actually locks you into using your own cards though.
Does it?
No. IP says. No, does it not work? Oh, okay, that's good then.
Yeah, wow. They compared it to something else. The Cyberse microcoder.
Okay. That's quite solid then. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see IP Masquerena alongside this. Yeah, I think that's another good option outside of using something like Unicorn, especially if you've already got an established board, and then your opponent somehow place all your other negates and consolidate all your resources into that, which is good. So yeah, interesting.
I tried it out. You do get off the IP play. You do get off. Like I said, it's a lot of commitment, but I don't know. Like, I tried it with Fluffles, and sometimes they just put loads on the board, but nothing's going to.
Yeah.
So it did benefit.
Yeah, I get it. It's always the same with decks like that, when it's like when you've got those kind of fusion decks and stuff where they'll have all the materials, but then they need something to actually do with the materials if they don't have a fusion spell. But yeah, definitely going to be really good to see. But we're going to go into our last topic before our bad list, and it's really about the return of locals. So all of us, we live in the UK, and soon, fingers crossed, we're going to be kind of starting to step outside of lockdown and heading back into locals. So what were you thinking, guys? What's the first deck we're all going to be playing when we go into locals, guys? What are we going to be doing?
BA. I just want to play my BA, man.
Oh my gosh.
What do I want to do? I just want to play BA. I don't care if I lose. I just want to play BA.
I don't know yet.
You're not sure yet?
Not meta.
Yeah, definitely not meta. No, I already know. For me, I'm saying it's gonna be Dark Lords for me, bro. I'm jumping straight back on that Dark Lords. Have a lot of fun with that deck. Yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting to see. That's how I put it. It's definitely gonna be exciting to see when we get back to locals and we see everyone kind of bringing their strategies. There's a lot of people seem to have kind of sold out and cut out of Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting. But then I'm sure there'll be a lot of new players as well. I'm definitely sure the amount of players has increased.
Loads.
So it's going to be. I mean, I can't lie. Maybe I should play meta to make to win a few free games against all the people.
No, I think they'll all be noobs. I think.
Yeah.
All the old people have gone, but loads of people discovered it in lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there'll be a lot of classic fans, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. It's really gonna be quite fun and interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. But what we're gonna do, this week is we are going to do a ban list, but it's going to be of the current decks. So we're gonna tier all of the decks that are currently in the format. So let me just quickly get that up for everyone. And here we go. So Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Oops, no. Actually, I'm streaming the wrong screen. Right. Can you guys see the tier list?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful. So we've got our current decks, which are sorry, I should check it over. See, it was confirmed. So we've got our current decks, which are in the format and stuff, and we're gonna be tiering them all. So we're gonna start with Adamancipator. And before we actually start, so Adamancipator, yeah. I tried that Prank Kids Adamancipator build. It's actually quite good. And the only thing I'm gonna say is the exact same thing you do with Adamancipator, you can do with Thunder Dragon, and arguably it's better than Thunder Dragon. So I feel like people need to to check that out, because I was surprised at just how good it was. I was really surprised at just how sick.
Have you got a replay?
I have got replays. I'm going to be releasing some stuff on my channel. Really showing off, dominating those builds. It's really, really good to see. But yeah, so Adamancipator, for me it's tier 3 or rogue. It's not bad at all, but definitely
Yeah.
I think right now it's not the best. So let's say tier 3. Let's say tier 3 for now. Yeah, it's a good deck, but not amazing. And then let's move on. We've got Invoked. So this deck, surviving another ban list.
Never dies.
Oh gosh, Konami just don't want to touch this deck, and you know what? Fair play to them.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's a business.
Exactly makes sense.
It's just an engine, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's an engine, but it's a really good engine.
It's a you can't go wrong
It's
with
a
it.
really, really good engine. That it's never a bad decision to play that engines on for certain decks. But
Yeah.
where do you think Invoked is? Where do you think Invoked is it should be?
I would say top of tier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking that. I can definitely agree with that. So Invoked tier 2, Drytron.
Probably what's not Hicks. It's not, over the top, is it?
Yeah, but I can't lie. That's how I felt about Sky Strikers. Even when Sky Strikers was the best deck in the format, they were never that busted, and yet Konami.
Yeah. Me and Simon always said this. Like, we always found it was quite balanced in a way.
Yeah.
But the thing that made like Strikers broken was the fact that you could abuse engage and one engine in every other deck.
Yeah.
Like for its deck, I didn't think it was bad.
At all.
It was to deal with. I thought it was fine.
But Konami, they weren't here for it at all. They weren't feeding it at all.
They love generic cards, man.
That's their favorite.
They love it.
That's 100% their favorite. So okay, yeah, let's put Drytron. Where's Drytron going? Where do you think Drytron should be?
Tier 1.
Really? You still think it's tier 1?
I'm thinking after the ban list it would have dropped to tier 2 though.
I suppose I'm thinking about the new sport.
Oh, you know what? So their new sport, is it out yet? I don't think the new sport's out yet. Is it?
No.
It's coming out in
Yeah.
isn't it?
So yeah, Lightning Overdrive. In Lightning Overdrive, they're gonna definitely see a big buff. I think until Lightning Overdrive, yeah, they're struggling. I'll say they're definitely struggling quite a bit compared to before. Yeah. So let's say I'd say bottom of tier 2, maybe top of tier 3. Yeah. They do still have some nice builds of Megalith and stuff, but it's unfortunately
Tier 0. Where's tier 0? No, that's tier 0.
Still not bad. Yeah, unfortunately, it just needs a bit of love. It still needs a bit of love.
It does.
Does that count as PK, though?
I think it's even with PK, it just doesn't do a lot.
It's all right with PK, but it's like at that point, it's just more of a PK build with a BA engine. The BA build that everyone's doing now is like the trap focused one with like trap trick, fiend griefing, all that kind of stuff. So, and don't get me wrong, it's doing well, it's doing all right, but it's just it's still rogue.
Yeah. Like you're not winning any tournaments with this.
There was just a guy who won a remote recently with it. That was
really? That's surprising.
What was his name? Was it Gabriel? Hang on, let me find this.
That's quite brave. I can't lie. I wasn't even expecting anyone to be able to win with the deck. It's just
Let's have a look. What is the RDQ? What does that stand for?
Remote dual qualifier.
Qualifier? Yeah. He came his first place.
Okay, wow, that's quite impressive then. Actually,
Yeah.
maybe there is a bit of potential for it.
Maybe because I think you know what? How many control decks are in the format right now? And people are playing like BA is more of a control thing now.
Oh man! Oh, was he playing the one with like Fiend Griefing and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. The
Okay,
version
yeah,
he's
I
playing.
do think that version is good. I
Yeah,
think
I've
that
not
version
seen
is
PK
really
Fire
good
do anything
at all.
recently.
Yeah, I thought it was PK Fire, but if it's not PK Fire, then yeah, I definitely see potential rogue. But okay, yeah, but so we'll say rogue tier for now.
Definitely drugged it, yeah.
So Dragoon build. So this is Dragoon.deck. So
Yeah.
this can be Dragoon Subterrors, the Dragoon. No, not Dragoon Subterrors. Dragoon Gravekeepers is probably the version that I would consider the most iconic Dragoon deck.
Like full on stun.
So I'd say definitely low tier 2. It's a good deck. Low tier 2 or maybe high tier 3, one of the two.
I'd say tier 2. There's a lot of like meta decks that are struggling to deal with it.
Yeah, I would say as well, what right now going second is actually viable, and so in this, especially in Gren Marju decks, if you're doing it in a Gren Marju deck, if you're doing it in a what do you call it again, Gravekeeper deck, it's not a bad idea at all. You can really still wins with it. Zodiac right now tier 1, they're ridiculous.
Zoo is wild right now. Yeah, Zodiac is wild at the moment.
It's Zeus. It's all Zeus.
Zeus is just
Zeus is the entire issue, and Konami needs to slap that card in the face. I'm so tired of seeing. What annoys me as well is the fact that it's not flipping once per turn. Oh gosh! So it's like you think you've outed the Zeus, and they're just like, nah,
just keep
bro.
stacking it, and it's like, oh, what's he used it 3 times in a turn? Okay,
literally, it's absolutely insane. Okay, so Eldritch, I'd say as well. That's probably tier 1 as well.
Yeah,
really strong deck.
Completely survived.
Well, they go together, don't they?
Yeah, very good. Eldritch Zoo is an insane variant, but even Eldritch Pure is quite disgusting. Like, it's just so much advantage it gains. The new Fusion, I thought it would make it a little bit weaker because you have some targets, but the problem with Eldritch is even if you get him off the board, it doesn't really make a difference to their game plan. They're still gonna win.
Yeah,
really,
they're about chops and value.
Exactly, yeah. So Eldritch tier 1, I would say.
I'd say below Zoo maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Around the same. I don't know.
I think I can cop to below Zoo. Yeah, it's hard to say. They're both really good at the moment. So yeah, we can just both have them up there. Salamangreat, still in rogue tier. It's a good game plan, but it's just not strong enough. Same problem with Sky Strikers.
Yeah, what have they still got? Like Gazelle at 1, Circle at 1.
Yeah, they need a bit of that advantage back. Subterrors, I'd say bottom. Subterror Dragoon, bottom of tier 3. It's not as good in my opinion as Gravekeeper Dragoon. Well, top of tier 3. Yeah, it's not as good as Gravekeeper Dragoon. Bird Up, Lyrilusk, Tri Brigade nonsense. This deck is insane as well. I think this is another tier 1 deck. I'm really happy to be seeing Lyrilusks in the meta, even if it's not really Lyrilusks.
Last time you'd ever see them was like some general FTK. With, like,
they're such. They are such a fun deck, though. They are really such a fun deck. It's nice to see it, and they're going to be getting some support soon. They're going to be getting some support in. I don't know. It's not Lightning Overdrive, is it? It's a different set. I'm not sure, but they're getting support, so it's going to be nice to see. Altergeist. So I'll say tier 3. I'll say they're definitely better than the rogue decks.
Yeah, I just haven't seen them do anything recently. But yeah, tier 3 definitely.
Definitely have a lot of potential. I think what's nice for them now is that there's less things that are just blanket. You can't use monster effects anymore. So Calamities and Zex will actually really hurt them before. Well, Zex will not so much, but Calamities hurt them a lot. But now they can actually activate their multi-faker. It's not just kind of stuck in their hand doing nothing. Dinos.
One thing about Dinos.
Yeah, bottom of tier 1.
I just can't stand this deck. I can't stand this deck.
It's really good.
I've never like. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like Dinos ever.
It's so frustrating.
Really frustrating deck. I'd say bottom of tier 1, but it's definitely
definitely in tier 1 though. Yeah,
definitely one of the best decks of the format. Definitely the best going second deck of the format right now.
Yeah, untouched again as well. Like.
Yeah, really good. Prank Kids is really good. I think Prank Kids right now is where Salamangreat used to be in terms of that control-ish kind of deck that used to kind of do bits. That's where Prank Kids is now, and it's interesting to see. I don't know. Me personally, I'd say maybe top of tier 3, top of tier 3, bottom of tier 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Dragon Link, really interesting deck. This is swooped back in.
Yeah.
Swooped back in as one of the best decks.
I think it still hasn't dropped out of tier 1, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it came back. I like Dragon Link for a combo deck. I really like it. It's very creative how the builds that people make with it. I love watching Dragon Link play. So yeah, I'd say I don't know. It's hard to say if it's stronger than these two because it's a different kind of deck. So even
I would say like it's in the middle of Zoo and Eldritch, maybe.
Yeah, like I feel like to me these three are about the same in terms of strength. But Dragon Link is a really, really, really cool deck. Doing a lot. Shadow's. So this is Shadow. Let's say this is Shadow invoked. Let's say this is Shadow.
I'd say. I mean, it
Tier
had
two,
a
I'd say.
hype train like last year, and then like it kind of just vanished, didn't it?
So do you know what it is? You always see this at the beginning of formats because it's a very easy deck and consistent one to make. People know what they're doing and all of that.
Yeah.
But then it kind of tapers off as people figure out the format and the power ceiling of the format rises. But in spite of that, I'll say Shadow Invoked is still having representation in tournaments. I'll say it's still a good deck. Like, in my opinion, it should be where, like, same way where Invoke Dogmatic and stuff would be. So, like, top of tier 2 is still a good choice. I think if you're taking this to a tournament, if you're going to a tournament and you want a not too expensive option, I would definitely say this is a good one.
Yeah.
Sky Strikers, unfortunately, they ain't doing nothing.
They're not doing anything. What is it like? Multi-rolls at 1, engages banned, drones at 1.
Yeah, Konami, they have no sympathy for Strikers.
They can't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see Strikers in the format again. That might be famous last words, but I don't think so.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, Konami needs to do something for them. And then Virtual. Virtual is similar to Drytron. It's still a really good deck. They didn't see hits as hard as Drytron, but losing Calamities a lot alone is
I think
really
people are
painful.
overlooking the fact that they can hand loop you though. Like Calamities isn't their go-to thing now.
Yeah, so now they can hand loop you, and then what else can they do? They can do something else in cheeky as well, and I can't remember what it was. But they're not bad. I'd say top of tier 2, probably.
Yeah.
Top tier 2, definitely a good deck. But this is what I think is really nice. Even looking at this, I'd say the format is a lot more balanced than it was. You've got a lot of options in terms of top decks to play and stuff. They're quite a lot. Whereas last format, you were either playing Virtual Old or Drytron or Eldritch Zoo, and then it was also, or you were losing. You were going second, losing. So it's
Hey, I've got a
definitely
question.
nicer. What's up, bro?
Do you think Orcus Dino is going to be tier 1?
Orcus Dino, you know what? I haven't even seen Orcus Dino, but I'm.
Oh,
The synergy with what is it?
when the Scrap Raptor comes
Scrap
out.
Raptor, that's the one.
Oh
yeah.
yes.
That card is nuts. That
So
card is
I
actually
don't
nuts.
think it'll be tier 1, but I do think we will see a resurgence of Orcus in the meta. I think.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yes.
People love Orcus. It's just a very
And it's a good
Best of
deck.
both worlds.
Yeah, it's a really, really good deck as well. Like it plays even as a they are graveyard focused decks, but I'd say Orcus is probably one of the truest graveyard focused decks, and that you're actually playing out of the graveyard. You actually want all your cards on the
They
graveyard.
will run 60 cards and still open Golem.
Yeah, and it does increase the ceiling in a very, very good way. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Orcus Dino will do in the
They're
long
going to
run.
be protecting their plays with miscellaneous as well.
Oh gosh, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
but I don't
quite
think.
mad
Yeah,
to
and even
watch.
then, like Dengusu, even in this day, is still a really, really good card.
Yeah.
Like, non-targeted send, like
Oh gosh, Dingy is.
it's not really
insane.
even been power. That card hasn't been power correct. It's just the deck overall has.
But yeah, I don't ever really see that card being power crept. Like I see it be that, or like I see there'll be better cards than it, but I don't ever see it being truly power crept. Like, oh, you're not playing Dingy or anything. No, it's
Especially it protects itself.
People always exactly. So it's like people always have to start playing around that.
yeah. Dingy is a lovely card. I really
But
like
it's
it.
good because it means like decks that make rank 8s, they've got removal.
Yeah, they've always got a good option for removal. That's very
Like
true.
Blue Eyes, can out Dragoon.
Yeah.
What they do.
Yeah, and it's funny because Dingy has other effects as well. I feel like that's what's so insane about it. It's got other good effects like protecting your whole board, and then also you can bring a banished machine back. Like those are also really good effects. But
Yeah.
it's such an incredible card, and so just because of that, I think that little thing as well is keeping Orcus a tiny bit like I wouldn't say meta or anything, but it's keeping it a tiny bit
I
relevant.
remember there was people that genuinely thought like Dengusu was gonna get banned when Orcus was like tier 1.
I can't lie. I thought I was
They
one of
really
those
thought it would get
people.
banned.
I really thought it was. I was thinking Konami has to ban
No,
this.
I was thinking they were gonna limit Galatea or something. To be honest, at the time.
True.
But-
That's what I think. That's what the OCG did, right? They limited.
Yeah,
Galatea,
they did. Yeah.
right?
No, I think they semied it first, and then
They
they.
can have heart back though. They really need to do that.
Yeah. I think giving Orcus heart back will be nice. Like it just gives them a much more consistent line of play. Right now, one of the problems I'd say is kind of that they're actually locked to the graveyard because of they have Orcus Nightmare, but because they're playing Orcus Nightmare, they literally have to do everything out of the graveyard, and they can get cucked by certain cards so hard. So yeah, it definitely would be nice to have harp so they can dump things on the field, open up a bunch of new combo routes.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if they'll get anything back. I don't know. The Konami right now they're enjoying the format, and you know what? Fair play to them. It's definitely a better format now than it has been in a long time.
Yeah, it was a good Banlist, definitely.
Yeah, they did the job. They did the job. Like, yeah, I can't say I can look at the ban list and think, oh, Konami should have done this and this and this. Like, no, they hit everything that should have been hit apart from Invoked. But Invoked isn't dominating the meta, so I can accept that. Yeah, it is really, really interesting to see. But with that is our ban list. That is our tier list for this week, and we're gonna call the end of this week's Yu-Gi-Oh show. So, guys, thank you all for watching. We will see you next week, and yeah, peace. Have a good time.
Peace out.
Peace.